In Goal 5, you will learn how to create and assign a manual test. What is a manual test? A manual test is a test that you can create with your own items as well as using items from the test bank. In order to create a manual test, we're going to go to the Assessment Admin tab, click on the Create link, and this brings us up to the Create window. Here you will actually see where you can click on Create a Test manually, or you can also in the Assessment Admin tab create an express test from here too. So for this example, we're going to create a manual test and we're going to click on the Start Now button. And this will bring us to the actual Create a Manual Test window where you will see test name, subject, grade level, which are all required fields to begin creating a test, and they all have an asterisk beside them that lets you know these are required fields. If you do not see an asterisk beside the field, that means that it's optional. So we're going to go ahead and start creating the manual test. I'm going to choose the subject for English Language and Literature. I'm going to choose 3rd grade for the grade level, and then for the number of items. You can select as many items as you would like for your test. Just for this example, I'm going to do 1. Also, you see a section that says all multiple choices or choice. If I select this checkbox, that means all the questions that I select for this test will be all multiple choice. And I may not want that. I may want true, false. I may want open-ended. So you do not want to select this unless you want all multiple choice questions. So now you have other options that you can create for your test with initial item settings, test settings, and co-authoring settings. These are all optional. So if I click on initial item settings, this is where you could go in and say if you wanted to add tools and manipulatives for your students on the test, you could click on yes. Also, you have test settings. What if I wanted the students to make a comment at the end of the test or on each item? I could select the checkbox. Again, this is all optional. And you also have co-authoring settings, and this is where you could go in and actually say you want to co-author something with someone. You would actually click on that. Now we're going to click on Generate Test, and this is actually going to generate the section for us to begin working on the test item questions. When you come to the test details section, you're going to see an area that says Test Stage, wherein the first section is Private Draft. Now we need to choose an item type for this item. So you can select from multiple choice, true, false, gridded, open response, and as you can see there are several other types you can select from. But for this particular example, I'm going to choose multiple choice, and then the item properties to edit the question comes up. The next thing that you would need to do is click on your standard lookup to look up the standards that you want to select for the test question. So I'm going to choose reading. I'm going to choose key ideas and details. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to click on Done. And this brings us back into the Edit Item section of the test question. The next thing you will see is teacher instructions. So what if I wanted to add some instructions for my students? I would click on this section here to add instructions. Now let's look at our first item, which is multiple choice. What if I wanted to change that even though I selected multiple choice? You can click on Change Type. So I want to change it to true, false, or what have you. That's up to you. Let's look at the question content. I have to click here to actually type in my first question. And click on Save after you complete the question. Now I'm going to come to the answer choices section. So you have 4 answer choices, A, B, C, D. So I'm going to click on A, and I'm going to type in my first answer response and click on Save. And I'm going to also make this my correct response by clicking on the check mark here. And I'm going to assign it 1 point, which you can assign from points 1 to 10. Now I'm going to select item choice B and type in a response and click on Save. Now I'm going to select item choice C and click on Save. Then I'm going to type in item question answer D and click on Save. So once I have all my answer choices, I can scroll down and then click on Return to Test Detail. Once we do that, we return to test detail. Of course, if you want to add additional test items, you could click on add items here. And now we're going to schedule the test. Click on ready to schedule. And then of course a dialog window will appear and it says, are you sure you are ready to schedule the test? Click OK. Look at your test stage. We're now on the ready to schedule section, and then we're going to click on the schedule button. And this will bring us up to the test settings where we're going to actually schedule a date for the test. So the start date, we could select today, February 2nd, and it automatically populates an end date 7 days out from the start date. And I'm going to score the test on, say, the 13th. You will see here, if you want to prevent the students from accessing the test results until after the end date, you have to click on that checkbox to do that. Next, you will see an online passcode, which you will need to give the students the passcode, which is here if you want them to take the test online. We're going to click on Save. And now it says the test is in progress on the test stage. That means the students can actually take the test online as long as you give them the online passcode. But what if you wanted your students to take a paper and pencil test? You would like for your students to take a paper and pencil test, you would need to print out the student test booklet, and you can print that either in PDF format or Word document.